Hey guys, welcome to GCT, where I read out the best stories on Reddit, so you don't have to. The funny, shocking, and satisfyingly juicy. Today is Antiwork Monday, with a few stories that will help you get through the week. Am I the a-hole because I refuse to get my boss lunch anymore? Our first post comes from the Am I the a-hole subreddit, posted by MindlessLibrary8932. I, 33 female, have had the same job with the same company for almost 12 years. I was originally hired to come in and help around the office that my mum worked at, and then, after the second week, I was given a computer. A month later, and I was offered a salaried position. For the past 12 years, I've done all sorts of jobs for this company. Billing, until someone else was hired to do that. Marketing, until they got someone else to take over from me, along with accounts payable and receivable jobs, fleet management, setting up the pricing for all of our products across all 5 branches, etc. Our receptionist retired last year, and we got someone else to cover her job. However, this employee is a reservist. We'll call her M, 45 female, and she was called to serve earlier this year. For the weeks she was deployed, we hired another lady to come in. We'll call her R, 54 female. When M returned to the office, the VP decided he didn't want her to be a receptionist anymore, and that she would go into sales. Then R would no longer be a receptionist either, but move into my position, while I would now be a receptionist. I was very upset by the whole prospect, and tried to talk to my boss. He told me that this was the VP's call, and the VP thought this would be best for the office, to just hold out until we figured out it was a bad idea. So, while I've essentially taken a demotion, and 2 women who have worked less than a year get a promotion, he basically told me to just wait it out. R and I were told to write down every job we did, and then train the other how to do things. But I've been with the company for 12 years, and since I already knew how to do everything, I spent the next 3 weeks training R to do my job. However, since the training ended, we've been having a lot of issues with R. She has a hard time keeping up with the pricing like I did, so she constantly tries to get me to do it for her. When my coworkers go to her to ask for assistance on something, she makes a huge deal about having to add something else to her list of duties, when most of the time, it takes 10 minutes out of the whole year, because again, it's just assisting someone, not a new task for her to do. It's gotten to the point where no one asks her to do anything, because she just reaches out to the VP to ask if she has to. Why not just return the same energy then? Stop doing her work for her. When I started working here, I was 21, so when someone needed to go to the post office, I did it. When someone needed to get lunch for the office because a customer was coming in, I did it. When it was someone's birthday and a cake and cookies needed to be ordered, I did it. I was starting to get annoyed by always being the gopher of the office, but I was 20 years younger than everyone else and the newest employee at the time. I figured I was just paying my dues. However, I have now been here for 12 years. I am not in my 20s anymore, and there's been many new hires. My dues are effing paid. Every day, I run out to get lunch for myself and my mum. I used to have to get lunch for my boss when he came into the office, but since I've moved to reception, I haven't. All of my jobs have been transferred to R. Shouldn't she have to do the errands for the company now? But every day, my boss still asks me to get his lunch, while R is just sitting there. R didn't even order anything for his birthday. I had to race to the local bakery to find cookies before he came into the office. When I mentioned this to R, she said that she thought it was something that I enjoyed, and she just figured I'd keep doing it. Today, I ran out to get my lunch, and when I got back, M came to me, trying to say that I should have asked my boss if he wanted something. I told her no, that if he wants something, he can ask R, because that is her job now. M said that I'm being petty, and I should just go get his lunch since I always have. I think that R should be made to do her job. So Reddit, am I the a-hole? Too long didn't read. My 54-year-old coworker won't do her job, and I don't think I should be made to do it. You keep covering for everyone, doing everyone else's job for them, and then wonder, why doesn't the boss know that they can't do their job? Stop doing everyone else's work. If R doesn't order a cake, let her explain to the boss why. If your boss asks you to get lunch for them, call it out and say, hey, isn't that actually R's job now? If you don't stand up for yourself, they'll just keep walking all over you. It's not about paying your dues. OP adds an update. I'm currently looking for a new job. All of my coworkers, except for my mum, suck. Yep, and they're absolutely gonna drown without you. But who cares? They clearly weren't very loyal to you after 12 years. Why should you keep being loyal to them? Posted photos of my coworker all over my workplace and city. Our next story comes from the PettyRevenge subreddit, posted by IAmMagicup. So, I had this coworker at a stupid food court job when I was in college. I worked at a burrito place, similar to Chipotle, and my manager was going to promote me to supervisor. She asked me to start acting the part, making sure people's portions were correct, etc. Anyway, he was scooping chicken and was piling it on. I told him to make sure he uses level scoops so we don't run out of chicken. Well, he threw a tantrum and screamed at me in front of all of the customers and asked me if I thought we were feeding kindergartners. I was annoyed, but said nothing. My brother worked at a different restaurant at the same food court, all under the same company, and was already a supervisor, so he had a key to the building. Later that week, in the middle of the night, we printed out hundreds of tiny wallet-sized photos of the coworker from his Facebook page and posted them everywhere at the food court. Inside napkin dispensers, schedules, on vents, random poles, inside pans and drawers, I mean everywhere we could find. We also made a missing poster of him and posted them around too. So, the workday starts, and there's literally hundreds of photos of him everywhere, along with the missing posters. The manager tells me he's missing, and I act all shocked and worried. Somehow, they aren't connecting the dots that this is a joke, given that there are also tiny photos of him everywhere. He was scheduled later than me, but we were both closing. When he finally arrived, he was flipping out about the pictures, and it all ended up being a big deal. The managers were having meetings with all of us, asking for any info and saying how it was a fireable offense. I also snuck away when no one was looking and put a second one on the punch clock. The first one had been thrown out by now, about 15 minutes before we were set to clock out. I got so much satisfaction seeing him rage when we finally clocked out. He was like, "There's another one! What the F?" Obviously, my brother and I never told anyone and never got caught. Over the following weeks, we left them around the town, and he actually saw one at the barbershop and was so distraught about the whole thing. He never found out the truth. Way to get into someone's head. I'd be so confused. Like, who's doing this and why? Forced to publicly acknowledge my boss at my final all-staff meeting. Posted by Jurassic Cat Dog. I'm leaving my job because, unfortunately, my boss doesn't have the skills to perform their job and can't manage a team. I know they're super insecure about it and use their power as a manager to throw us under the bus for their mistakes, etc. It's known by management that I'm leaving due to this, and I brought it up with HR during my exit interview. I didn't want to blow it out of proportion, and I thought I gave very concise notes to HR, but so many management people who I don't even work directly under have been contacting me to ask for feedback as to why I'm leaving. Anyway, the CEO of the company randomly put in a meeting with me and asked me to, at my final staff meeting, talk about how great my manager is so they feel less bad about themselves. Is this normal? I've never had a company do something like this to me before, although it is my first bigger company job. Since when are we forced to play nice with each other like this? I'm upset and confused by everything. Everyone in management has made me feel like I'm the bad guy for for making my boss feel insecure. I'm scared of burning bridges as my industry is very niche. They threw you under the bus, but you're the bad guy for mentioning it? PhoneMonkey25 says, just host your own roast. See how long it takes until they're cutting cables to get you to stop. You can say anything you want to on your last day. My old boss had the nerve to tell me I need to stop making plans on my days off so he could have me come into work. Posted by Lolly LaChan. Last night, we were all discussing bad managers we've had in the past, and I got to tell this story that happened about 10 months ago. In my last job, the manager there was a super chill guy, and I enjoyed working for him. He got fired because of low sales and replaced with the biggest a-hole in the store. I could tell immediately he was one of those bosses who expects you to work even if you drop dead halfway through. I almost did many times due to my failing health. I used my days off to rest mentally and physically. And basically, every other week, he'd ask me to come in and I'd tell him that I couldn't because I had plans and I was busy. This was usually a lie, but he never appreciated me on the days I was scheduled, so I certainly wasn't about to add to that. He eventually pulled me aside and told me I need to stop making plans in case I was needed because we were short-staffed. I looked at him and said, yeah, that's not really my effing problem. To try combat this, he tried scheduling me 7 days a week, which got him rode up as I was 16 at the time and went to school full-time. He made sure that my work life was hell after that, and I was nearly driven to unaliving myself because he caused me so much stress and anxiety. I can't understand why so many a-holes become managers when having someone like the previous manager improves morale and leads to better productivity because the employees don't hate their job so much. I bet he was expecting you to be a pushover since you're only 16. Well done standing up for yourself. Remember, they need you more than you need them. I post new content every day, so subscribe for more juicy tea.